David Elder Video 2013. On August 27, 2013, tourist David Elder presented a 5-minute video of a mysterious wave in the loch. According to Elder, the wave was produced by a 4.5 m 15 feet, solid black object, just under the surface of the water. Elder, 50, from East Kilbride, South Lanarkshire, was taking a picture of a swan at the Fort Augustus Pier on the southwestern end of the loch. When he captured the movement, he said, the water was very still at the time and there were no ripples coming off the wave and no other activity on the water. Skeptics suggested that the wave may have been caused by a wind gust. Refers to a widely reported sighting of a mysterious wave in Loch Ness, Scotland. On August 27, 2013, David Elder, an amateur photographer from East Kilbride, captured footage while photographing a swan near Fort Augustus. Details of the sighting. The observation Elder reported seeing a solid black object, about 15 feet long, gliding just beneath the surface, creating a distinct bow wave. Conditions. He noted the water was exceptionally still at the time, with no boats or other activity on the loch to explain the disturbance. Impact. The video fueled significant media speculation and was touted by some enthusiasts as potential evidence of the legendary Loch Ness monster Nessie. Skeptical views. Experts and skeptics often suggest such sightings are more likely caused by natural phenomena like wind gusts, underwater currents, or local wildlife such as large eels, otters, or seals. Apple Maps photograph 2014. In April 2014, a satellite image from Apple Maps went viral for allegedly showing the Loch Ness monster. The image captured a large, mysterious white shape just beneath the water's surface in the Scottish Highlands. Discovery. The image was first flagged by Andrew Dixon and Peter Thane, who submitted it to the official Loch Ness Monster fan club. Scale. The shape appeared to be roughly 30 meters 98 feet long, located near the village of Dors. Pro-Nessie argument. Enthusiasts argued that because there was no visible boat attached to the wake, the object must be a large creature traveling just below the surface. Scientific explanations. Experts and skeptics quickly provided more grounded explanations for the photograph. Boat wake. The most widely accepted theory is that the image shows the wake of a boat. The boat itself likely disappeared due to image stitching or low contrast common in satellite processing. Digital artifacts. Some suggested that Apple's privacy algorithms, which blur identifiable objects, may have obscured the boat while leaving the surrounding wake visible. Natural causes. Other theories included seal-caused ripples or floating debris like a large log. The Dinsdale film refers to a famous 50-foot sequence of 16 mm black and white footage captured by aeronautical engineer Tim Dinsdale on April 23, 1960. It is widely considered one of the most significant pieces of evidence in the history of the Loch Ness monster legend. Details of the film. The sighting. On the final day of his first search at Loch Ness, Dinsdale spotted a large, reddish-brown object with a hump moving across the water. He filmed it from his car using a telephoto lens while the object moved away from the shore, leaving a distinct wake. Analysis. In 1966, the Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center JARIC of the Royal Air Force analyzed the footage. Their report concluded that the object was probably animate, meaning it was a living creature rather than a boat or a submarine. Controversy: skeptics and later digital analyses have challenged the original findings. Some researchers, such as Dick Rayner, argue that the footage actually shows a local fishing boat, with a pale blob at the rear representing the helmsman. Legacy: the film's validation by Jarek sparked a massive wave of public interest, leading to the formation of the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau and decades of organized monster hunting. Drone footage 2021. In September 2021, it was reported that a 20 feet (6.1 m) creature was captured on a live stream near the loch, though it was quickly described as a digitally altered video by skepticists due to the lack of natural movement, an unlikely degree of illumination, and its resemblance to a stock image of a toy plesiosaurus. In 2021, two major pieces of drone-related footage gained attention regarding the Loch Ness Monster. The Wild Hair Media drone video. August 2021, a drone operator filming kayakers on the shore captured a long, thin dark shape moving just below the water's surface. The figure was estimated to be around 23 meters 75 feet long and appeared to be swimming toward the shore before disappearing. The plesiosaur live stream drone footage. September 2021. This footage allegedly showed a 20-foot creature with a long neck and flippers moving through the water. However, it was widely dismissed by experts and skeptics as a digital hoax, with many noting its resemblance to a stock image of a toy plesiosaur. George Edwards photograph, 2011. On August 3, 2012, skipper George Edwards claimed that a photo he took on November 2, 2011 shows Nessie. Edwards claims to have searched for the monster for 26 years, and reportedly spent 60 hours per week on the loch aboard his boat, Nessie Hunter 4, taking tourists for rides. Edwards said, "In my opinion, it probably looks kind of like a manatee, but not a mammal. When people see 3 humps, they're probably just seeing 3 separate monsters." Other researchers have questioned the photograph's authenticity, and Loch Ness researcher Steve Feltham suggested that the object in the water is a fiberglass hump used in a National Geographic Channel documentary, in which Edwards had participated. Researcher Dick Rayner has questioned Edwards' claim of discovering a deeper bottom of Loch Ness, which Rayner calls Edwards Deep. He found inconsistencies between Edwards' claims for the location and conditions of the photograph and the actual location and weather conditions that day. According to Rayner, Edwards told him he had faked a photograph in 1986 that he claimed was genuine in the National Geographic documentary, although Edwards admitted in October 2013 that his 2011 photograph was a hoax. He insisted that the 1986 photograph was genuine. A survey of the literature about other supposed sightings, including photographs, published in the Scientific American Blog Network on July 10, 2013, indicates none of them are actual sightings. Holmes video 2007 refers to famous footage captured by Gordon Holmes, a 55-year-old laboratory technician, on May 26, 2007 at Loch Ness in Scotland. Details of the video. The sighting: Holmes recorded what he described as a jet black thing, approximately 14 meters 46 feet long, moving at about 6 miles per hour 10 kilometers per hour. Significance at the time, it was hailed by Loch Ness Monster watchers as some of the best footage ever seen. Media coverage: the video gained international attention and was broadcast by major outlets, including BBC Scotland on May 29, 2007. Scientific skepticism: Adrian Shine, a marine biologist at the Loch Ness 2000 Centre, initially suggested the footage might show an otter, seal, or water bird. In 2015/2016, modern analysis of the footage by software experts suggested the creatures were likely giant eels, estimated to be between 10 feet and 15 feet long. Gordon Holmes himself later stated he agreed with this analysis, believing it might resolve the mystery of his sighting. Loch Ness Muppet 1977. A 1977 photo claims to be the clearest photo. Dubbed the Loch Ness Muppet, this photo is criticized for several reasons. Taken by Anthony Shiels, a self-proclaimed magician and psychic, he claimed to have summoned Nessie out of the water to take the photo. Skeptics comment on the lack of ripples and ridicule the fake look, which resulted in the Muppet nickname. Details of the photograph: Shiels, a magician and psychic, claimed he summoned the creature out of the water while camping near Urquhart Castle. The photo is noted for its startling clarity compared to earlier grainy images. Shiels described the creature as an elephant squid, interpreting its long neck as a trunk. It is widely considered a hoax by experts. Skeptics dubbed it the Loch Ness Muppet because the creature's neck and head appeared to be a static, staged prop with no corresponding ripples or wake in the surrounding water. Anthony Shiels was a known showman and wizard who later admitted that while he took the photos, he didn't necessarily believe in the existence of lake monsters as biological animals. Peter McNabb at Urquhart Castle on July 29, 1955 took a photograph that depicted two long black humps in the water. The photograph was not made public until it appeared in Constance White's 1957 book on the subject. On October 23, 1958 it was published by the Weekly Scotsman. Author Ronald Binns wrote that the phenomenon which McNabb photographed could easily be a wave effect resulting from three trawlers traveling closely together up the loch. Other researchers consider the photograph a hoax. Roy MacCall requested to use the photograph in his 1976 book. He received the original negative from McNabb, but discovered it differed from the photograph that appeared in White's book. The tree at the bottom left in White's was missing from the negative. It is suspected that the photograph was doctored by rephotographing a print. Peter McNabb is best known for taking a famous photograph of the Loch Ness Monster on July 29, 1955. Photograph: McNabb, a bank manager, captured the image near Urquhart Castle. The photo shows a large, dark, humped object moving through the water, with the castle ruins visible in the background for scale. Details: at the time, it was considered one of the most significant pieces of photographic evidence because it provided a rare sense of scale. Subsequent analysis by researchers has raised doubts about its authenticity. Some believe it may show a boat wake rather than a creature. Cryptozoologist Roy MacCall noted discrepancies between the original negative and the published version, specifically a missing tree in the foreground, leading to suspicions that the print was doctrinated or rephotographed. Although taken in 1955, the photo didn't gain widespread public attention until it was featured in Constance White's 1957 book, More Than a Legend, and later published in the Weekly Scotsman in 1958. In December 1954, sonar readings were taken by the fishing boat Rival 3. Its crew noted a large object keeping pace with the vessel at a depth of 146 meters 479 feet. It was detected for 800 minutes 2,600 feet before contact was lost and regained. Previous sonar attempts were inconclusive or negative. In December 1954, one of the most famous pieces of sonar evidence in the history of the Loch Ness Monster mystery was recorded by the crew of the fishing boat Rival 3. The Rival 3 incident. While crossing Loch Ness, the vessel's echo sounder detected a large, unidentified object that appeared to be following the boat. Depth. The object was detected at a depth of 146 meters 479 feet. Duration. It reportedly kept pace with the Rival 3 for approximately 800 meters 2,600 feet before the sonar contact was lost. Significance. This reading is often cited by researchers as significant because it suggested a large, animate object moving at a consistent speed and depth, which was difficult to explain as a simple school of fish or a fixed underwater feature. At the time, sonar technology originally developed for naval warfare was increasingly being adapted for commercial fishing and scientific research. The Rival 3 incident was one of the first major instances where a commercial fish finder produced results that fueled the Nessie legend. Taylor film. On May 29, 1938, South African tourist G.E. Taylor filmed something in the loch for 3 minutes on 16mm color film. The film was obtained by popular science writer Maurice Burton, who did not show it to other researchers. A single frame was published in his 1961 book, The Elusive Monster. His analysis concluded it was a floating object, not an animal. In 1938, several films and historical recordings were associated with the name Taylor, most notably a controversial home movie of the Loch Ness Monster and several starring roles for Hollywood actor Robert Taylor. South African tourist G.E. Taylor on May 29, 1938. 3 minutes of 16mm color film showing an object in the water. It was the first color film of a supposed sighting. Popular science writer Maurice Burton later analyzed the footage and concluded it showed a floating object rather than an animal. William Fraser 1938. In 1938, William Fraser, the chief constable of Inverness Shire, played a notable role in the history of the Loch Ness Monster by writing a letter to the Under-Secretary of State at the Scottish Office. In this letter, dated August 15, 1938, he stated that the monster existed beyond doubt and expressed concern about a hunting party arriving with a custom-made harpoon gun to catch it, dead or alive. He voiced his doubts about having the legal power to protect the creature from such hunters. This historical document was released by the National Archives of Scotland in 2010. On August 15, 1938, William Fraser, Chief Constable of Inverness Shire, wrote a letter that the monster existed beyond doubt and expressed concern about a hunting party that had arrived with a custom-made harpoon gun determined to catch the monster, dead or alive. He believed his power to protect the monster from the hunters was very doubtful. The letter was released by the National Archives of Scotland on April 27, 2010.